When God placed the ears directly behind the eyes, he knew that man would make spectacles for himself. You're welcome, viewers. We're still on chapter 7, Surah Al-A'raf of the Holy Quran, and this time we are going to ayah 135, sign 135, verse 135. They mean the same thing. Mm. We're still on the story of Pharaoh and Moses and the children of Israel. Mhm. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُمْ الرِّجْزَ إِلَى أَجْلٍ هُمْ هم يالغوه هم بالغوه is a hum yankushuna. Mm. But when we removed the plague from them according to a fixed term, ila ajilan, according to a fixed term, mm, a risa, a plague, according to a fixed term, kashafnahum, remove from them, that's treat them, remove from them the plague, arisa, ila ajlan, hum baliguhu, according to fixed term which they had fulfilled. Behold, they broke their words. Whom baliguhu is a whom yankushu na. Behold, they broke their word. Let's see the commentary. 10, 93. 10:93. The intercession of Moses was to pray. The intercession of Moses was to pray. Simple. You're a big man, somebody comes to you with complaints and whatnot. We are seeing it among Muslims. I know, I'm very sure about that. The first thing they do is to hide and pray. Yes, when I say hide and pray, keep away from people and pray. Yes. So the intercession of Moses was to pray. Full stop. Each plague or penalty had its appointed time in God's decree. Yes, Agilan, Agilan, there is a time. Everything, there is a time. Even the world has a time. Has a time. Okay. That time was duly fulfilled before the plague ceased. So the plague didn't just cease like that. It ceased because there was a time placed on it. Time. sorry. Pardon me. There was a time. I mean, into brackets, time placed on it. It was timed. Even what do you call it? In computer, when you're using the computer, they will tell you timed out. Your period is out. There's a time placed at it. The intercession meant two things. Yes, before the plague ceased. The intercession meant two things. One, that God's name was invoked and his presence duly brought home to the mind and heart of the sinner who promised repentance. You see, sinner, I'm reading that as inner. And how can you read S as I? Pardon me. I'm glad I had an operation. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to read at all. Okay. Let me repeat that. That God's name was invoked and his presence duly brought home to the mind and heart of the sinner who promised repentance. And two, that the sinner was given a further chance when the prayer was accepted. This again is a universal truth. A what? A universal truth. We go to sign 135. فأن فإن فإن تكك فإن تكمنا منهم فأغرقناهم في اليمن في اليمن Yemen, Yemen, but here it is C. فانتقمنا منهم فأغرقناهم في اليمن. So we exacted retribution from them. انتقمنا منهم, we exacted retribution from them. We drowned them in the sea. أغرقناهم في اليمن. أغرقناهم في اليمن, or أغرقناهم في اليمن, or في اليمن, or you join it في اليمن. بأنهم كذبوا بآياتنا وكانوا عنها غافلين. We drowned them in the sea because they rejected our signs. إنهم كذبوا بآياتنا. إنهم كذبوا بآياتنا, rejected our signs, and failed to take warning from them. وكانوا عنها غافلين. They didn't pay heed. They failed to take warning from them. Let's go to the commentary, 10:9-4. When at last Pharaoh let Israel go, they selected not the highway to Canaan along the Mediterranean and by Gaza, because they were unarmed and would have encountered immediate opposition there, but by way of the wilderness of Sinai. Full stop. They crossed the sea, while Pharaoh's host, which came in pursuit, was drowned. Compare 2:50, chapter 2, verse 50. 2 is spelled II, in case I make mistake, but 50 is in English numbers. So I don't know, Roman letters and the English numbers. See, the Romans were very, very powerful. Compare CF 2:50. We go to 96. Have we finished? 97. No. 137 rather. I'm sorry. 137. Have we finished the commentary for 90? No, we haven't finished the commentary. The commentary is in two parts. That's the first commentary we read. The second one we are coming to 1095. That's after chapter 250, another commentary. Where was the council of Pharaoh held? Where was the council of Pharaoh held in which Moses addressed Pharaoh? I mentioned it before. Okay. Egypt's primary capital in the 17th dynasty was Thebes. Thebes was Thebes. Into brackets, not Ammon. Maybe Ammon is the biblical account. Maybe. And so it was Thebes and not Ammon. But that was more than 400 miles to the south of the delta, in whose corner Israel dwelt. Memphis, on the apex of the delta, a little south of where Cairo is now. Oh, I don't know, my eyes trying to fail me. In whose corner, Memphis, on the apex of the delta, a little south of where Cairo is now, was also over 100 miles from Israel's habitations. My glasses not even helping much. Okay, I'm not used to it. Okay, the interview must have been either in a palace near Goshen, near Goshen, where the Israelites dwelt, or in Zoan. Zoan is spelled Zoan, into brackets, because Tanis, into brackets, Tanis, just into brackets, Tanis, comma, the deltaic capital built by a former dynasty, which was, of course, still available for the reigning dynasty, and which was not far from the Israelite settlement. So this is a vivid description of the area, and we can relate it to today's geography. It's the same thing. Let's go to 137 now. Oh, I love this part. It's talking about East and West. When Europe was not there and Russia was not there, or they were considered to be weak. What does it say? 137. وأورثنا القوم الذين كانوا يستضعفون مشارق الأرض ومغاربها التي باركنا فيها. Oh my God. And we made a people considered weak, into brackets, and of no account, inheritors of lands in both East and West. Who are they? The present Americans and the present Russians and Japanese and whatnot. During Pharaoh's time, they were considered weak and of no account. Yes. So today, Russia and China and whatnot are at war, either physically or economically or whatever, against the West, NATO, America, and whatnot. They were of no use. Pardon me. They were considered of no account. They were considered weak and of no account. وأوردنا القوم الذين كانوا يستضعفون مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. And we made a people considered weak and of no account, inheritors of lands in both East and West. Masharik al-Ardi or Magaribiha. Masharik meaning the West, and Magariba meaning East. Masharik al-Ardi meaning the East, and Magaribiha meaning the West. وتمت كلمة ربك الحسنى على بني إسرائيل بما صبروا yes بما صبروا we sent down land East and West, inheritors of lands in both East and West, lands whereupon we sent down our blessings. So after making the people who were weak to inherit East and West, God then sent down his blessings to them, East and West, China and Russia, and then on the other hand, America and NATO. God saying it is he, the Almighty, who blessed them. He blessed the land. وباركنا فيها, and then blessed them. وتمت كلمة ربك الحسنى على بني إسرائيل. The fair promise of thy Lord was fulfilled for the children of Israel because they had patience and constancy. Bima sabaru, they had patience and constancy. ودمرنا ما كانوا يصنعوا فرعون وقومه وما كانوا يرشون. And we leveled to the ground, we leveled to the ground the great works and fine buildings which Pharaoh and his people erected with such pride. So God can raise down builders. He himself, remember earthquakes, can bring earthquakes. At once, And pardon me to say, you may see my head lying somewhere, eh? And my other parts of my other appendages lying down somewhere, and my torso left alone. Pardon me to say that. I don't want to give example with another person. Mm. And we leveled to the ground the great works and fine buildings which Pharaoh and his people erected with such pride. ودمرنا ما كانوا يصنع فرعون وقومه وما كانوا وما كانوا يعرشون. Erected with such pride, يعرشون. Let's go to the commentary, and it's 110 verses. It's quite long. Let's see. Israel, which was despised, Israel, which was despised, became a great and glorious nation under Solomon. He had he had goodly territory and was doubly blessed. Sorry, and was doubly blessed. I'm sorry, see, double I'm written as doubly, and was doubly blessed. His land and people were prosperous, and he was blessed with wisdom from God. His way His sway and his fame spread east and west, and was God's promise to Israel was fulfilled. His sway and his sway and his fame spread east and west, full stop. And thus, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. And thus, God's promise to Israel was fulfilled. Full stop. Note that Syria and Palestine had once been under the sway of Egypt. Note that Syria and Palestine had once been under the sway of Egypt. Full stop. So that's an important piece of information for us. They were all under Egypt. At the same time, the proud and rebellious Pharaoh had his people had his people. At the same time, the proud and rebellious Pharaoh and his people, and his people were brought low. The splendid monuments which they had erected with so much skill and pride were mingled with the dust. Their great cities, Thebes or Thebes or Nu'amon. I see. I think I did some wrong reading somewhere. So Thebes is also no Ammon. No Ammon. Thebes, no Ammon, comma, Memphis or North. Memphis or North, comma, Memphis into brackets or North, sacred to the bull of Osiris, bracket close. And the other splendid cities became as if they had not existed. And archaeologists have had to dig up their ruins from the sands. The splendid monuments, temples, palaces, tombs, statues, columns, and stately structures of all kinds were buried in the sands. Sands were buried in the sands. Full stop. Even monuments like the Great Sphinx, which seemed to defy the ages, were partly buried in the sands and owe their rescue to the comparatively recent researches of archaeologists. As late as 1743, Richard Pocock, in his Travels in Egypt, that's a book, page 41, remarked, this was the comment of a man called Richard Pocock, remarked, most of these pyramids are very much ruined. Most of these pyramids are very much ruined. In other words, the pyramids actually were built probably before the time of Moses or around the time of Moses. In any case, before the time of the that disaster, the drowning of Moses. That's what Richard Pocock is telling us. Okay, let's go to Ayah 138. وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر فأتوا على قوم يعكفون على أصنام let me take it let me break it down. وجاوزنا ببني إسرائيل البحر and we took the children of Israel with safety in brackets with safety across the sea al-Bahri. فَآتُوا عَلَى قَوْمٍ يَعْكُفُونَ. They came upon a people devoted entirely to some idols. I didn't finish the sentence. فآتوا على قوم يعكفون على أصنام لهم ideas, their idols. They came upon a people devoted entirely to some idols. To some idols. على أصنام لهم قالوا يا موسى اجعل لنا إلها كما لهم إله كما لهم آلهة. They came upon the people devoted. They said, the Israelis said, they said, "Oh Moses, fashion for us a god like unto the gods they have." So now they've forgotten God, Allah, the universal God. And now they are telling Moses to make small gods for them. So they wanted to eliminate the people that they came across. That day the Israelis came across. Can I take it in Arabic again? Ij'alana illahan kama lahum alihatun. Make for us a God like they have their God. Kala innahum qawmun yajhalun. Kala, Moses said, Kala innakum qawmun yajhalun. Moses, they said, Moses, I've read that. Moses said, surely ye are a people without knowledge. Ye are a people without knowledge. Kala innakum qawmin yajhalun. 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 Jahilan. Ignorance without knowledge. Ignorance. Yajhalun. Ignorant people. You are people without knowledge. Yajhalun. I think that's it for verse 138. Is there any commentary for this? There doesn't seem to be any commentary for it. Namshi. Let's go to 139. It says, إن هؤلاء متبر ما هم فيه وباطل ما كانوا يعملون. As for these folk, and dash, the cult they are in is bound to destruction. إنها هؤلاء متبر destruction متبر ما هم فيه باطلون. The cult they were in, ما هم فيه باطلون, the cult they were in, ma kanu ya'malun. And vain and vain is the worship which they practice. Eh? وباطل ما كانوا يعملون. Battling in vain ما كانوا يعملون. The practice that they were in. Uh, let's go to commentary for it. 10:9:8. 10:9:8. I don't think we finished the commentary of 10:97. No. Let's finish that part. Let's go back and finish it. The settlement or what remained of it must have. We're going back to 93137. Must have degenerated further. Cut off from full stop. Cut off from civilization, its cult must have become still narrower without the refining influences which a progressive nation applies even to its idolatry. Full stop. Perhaps Apis, the sacred bull of Memphis, lost all its allegorical meaning for them, and only gross and superstitious rites remain among them. The text speaks of some idols they had, asnam lahum, of some idols they had, implying that they had merely a detached fragment of a completer region, implying that they had merely a detached fragment of a completer religion. Full stop. This was a snare. Snare is SNARE. This was a snare in the path of the Israelites, whom many generations of slavery in Egypt had debased into ignorance and superstition. We're now going to the commentary for 139. That was a continuation of the commentary of 138. We're now going to commentary for 139. As to do so, the cult they are in is bound to destruction. Yes. Okay. The commentary now comes follows. If conjecture 2 in the last note is correct, this idolatrous worship was but the fragment of a ruin from Egypt. Yes. And Moses' reproach is biting. You, now inverted commas, you who have been rescued from the bondage of living Egypt, dash, do you hanker after the bondage of a dead cult, debased even from that from which you have been rescued? So do you go back to idols that are even worse than the ones that you have been gotten out of, idols of Pharaoh, in other words? This Moses asking them, or this is a commentary, maybe implying Moses asking them. Okay, then we have mutabar, broken in pieces, or mutabarro, mutabaru, broken equals broken in pieces, smashed into fragments, destroyed. We read it in the verse as mutabaru. Let me see if I can locate it. I see. Inna haula'i mutabarru. So it's explained here the meaning of mutabaru equals broken in pieces, smashed in fragments, destroyed. That's the commentary for 198. Yes, for 198. We go to, let's say 198, 139. That's the commentary for 139. We now go to 140. We now go to 140. Ayah 140, sign verse 140. Kala, Moses is speaking, still speaking. Kala, agerillahi abkikum illahan wa huwa fadalakum ala alamin. Moses is now asking the Israelis who are asking for him to make an idol for them. He said, shall I seek for you a God other than Allah, a God other than Allah, that's God of, other than God of the universe, when it is He who hath endowed you with gifts above the nations? Allah Alameen, above the nations. God, Moses is asking them. You see, Moses' spiritual level was much, much, much higher than them. Everything of theirs was still concerning the past, idol worship, and whatnot. Okay, so this is what Moses asked them in sign 140. We continue to 141. There's no commentary for that. Maybe it's a commentary there is combined with the that of 141. So we go to 141. وَإِذْ أَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ مِنْ آلِ الْفِرْعَوْنِ. And remember, we rescued you from Pharaoh's people. أَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ, we rescued you, or we gave you success over. Another meaning of أَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ is to give success. So here, our well-learned elders say rescue. وَإِذْ أَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ مِنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ, because he saved them from the sea. So we rescued you from the sea. That's what it means. أَنْجَيْنَاكُمْ مِنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ يَسُومُونَكُمْ سَوْءًا عَذَابٍ. يَسُومُونَكُمْ يَسُومُونَكُمْ سُوَاءَ الْعَذَابٍ. يَسُومُونَكُمْ سُوَاءَ الْعَذَابِ. Who afflicted you with the worst of punishment. يَسُومُونَكُمْ سُوَاءَ الْعَذَابِ. Who, the people of Pharaoh, who afflicted you with the worst of punishment. يَقَاتِلُونَ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ. Who slew your male children. يَقَاتِلُونَ أَبْنَاءَكُمْ وَيَسْتَحْيُونَ نِسَاءَكُمْ. Slay your male children and saved alive your females, and saved alive your female. يَسْتَحْيُونَ نِسَاءَكُمْ. يَسْتَحْيُونَ نِسَاءَكُمْ. And saved alive your females. Okay. نساءكم. وفي ذلك بلاء من ربكم عظيم. وفي ذلك بلاء من ربكم عظيم. In that was a momentous trial from your Lord. وفي ذلك بلاء, trial من ربكم عظيم, from your Lord, from your great Lord. From your Lord. 1099. Let's see the commentary. This is God's reminder. Here is Allah, but Allah is the same as God. This is Allah's reminder to Israel. This is God's reminder to Israel through the mouth of Moses. Yes, when we know that when the prophets speak, the prophets are the mouthpiece of God on earth. God sitting on the throne above. He's chosen the prophets to be his mouthpiece. And this is highlighted in the commentary here. This is God's reminder to Israel through the mouth of Moses. There was a double trial, yes. One, while the bondage lasted, the people were to learn patience and constancy in the midst of affliction. salvation. 2. When they were rescued, they were to learn humility, justice, and righteous deeds of prosperity. Viewers, we've done with section 16. When we come back, God willing, we shall go to section 17. And I believe, yes, it's still a continuation of Moses and the Israelis or Israelites, if you like. May God bless you all. May God be with you all. Mm. Thank you very much. Ila lakai. Bye bye. Au revoir.